Hello and welcome to Get to the Point. My name is James Cordwell. Now, the recent pandemic has devastated the world's economies and has had a huge personal cost for many around the world. The virus led to a disease, COVID-19, in humans that reportedly took the lives of many. Now, many wondered where the virus had come from and, more importantly, how was it so well adapted to human and human transmission. In COVID-19 Part 3 of a 4-part series, I take a look at an article published in the Mail on Sunday which claims were made about how the virus became so well adapted to human transmission. In this article, it states that the coronavirus is uniquely adapted to infect humans, and a top vaccine scientist says it could only have come from an animal through a freak of nature, and the possibility it leaked from a Wuhan lab, he said, must be investigated. That's today on Get to the Point, COVID-19 Part 3, made in a lab or a freak of nature. Now, the global COVID-19 pandemic has indeed had a huge economic and personal impact around the world. Many nations have been demanding to understand how the virus learned how to transmit itself from human to human so effectively. According to an article published in the Mail on Sunday, the COVID-19 virus is uniquely adapted to humans, and this is a major puzzle for the scientific community. In the last episode of COVID-19 Part 2, we revealed a French expert, Simon Van Robson, a virologist at the Pasteur Institute in Paris, and said the body of evidence suggested that this was a natural virus. You would see signatures, he said, if this was an engineered virus, and I don't see any evidence that it is engineered, he said. Clear? Maybe not. Now, not everyone in the scientific community agrees that this was not either developed in a lab or somehow naturally evolving virus that escaped from a laboratory. If it was a naturally evolving virus, surely the Chinese authority must know how every step happened by now. However, they are not forthcoming with that information. If it was either developed in the Wuhan laboratory or by accident and escaped, again, the Chinese authorities are not forthcoming. A team of scientists has produced evidence that the pandemic virus is uniquely adapted to infect humans, raising fresh questions over whether its origins were natural or could have occurred in a lab. Professor Nikolai Petrovsky, a top vaccine researcher who headed the Australian team, said the virus was not typical of any normal zoonotic animal-to-human infection, since it appeared with the exceptional ability to enter human bodies from day one. And he said the virus could have emerged from an animal through a freak event of nature, but the possibility that it had leaked from a laboratory could not be ruled out. Now, Petrovsky, this professor of medicine at Flinders University in Adelaide, runs a biotech research unit that has started human trials for a COVID-19 vaccine. I haven't seen a zoonotic virus that has behaved in this way before, he said. Now, he told the Mail on Sunday that the viruses crossing over from animals normally start weak and strengthen as they adapt to human hosts, but for some unexplained and unspecific reasons, this new coronavirus seems perfectly adapted to infect humans without the need to evolve in any way. Well, the question is why and how has it done that?
So we started modelling the COVID-19 virus back in January in order to design a vaccine candidate. And when we had finished the design of the vaccine candidate, we then went on to explore whether we could use the same modelling approach to try and better understand where the virus originally came from, to explore what animal species might have been involved in the transmission to humans. So the study findings were very interesting, which is that we found that the COVID-19 virus was particularly well adapted to bind to human cells, and that was far superior to its ability to bind the cells of any other animal species, which is quite unusual, because typically when a virus is well adapted to an animal and then it by chance crosses to a human, typically you would expect it to originally have lower binding to human cells than to the original host animal. We found the opposite. So that was a big surprise. So what it means is that we really don't know where this virus has come from. I mean, that's the truth. The two possibilities, which I think are both still open, are firstly that it was a chance transmission of a virus from an as yet unidentified animal to humans. The other possibility, of course, is that it was an accidental release of the virus from a laboratory. So scientists, try to not be political. So we just try to base our findings on facts rather than taking particular political positions. But sometimes, obviously, the alternatives may have unintended consequences. So, for instance, if it was to turn out that this virus came about because of an accidental lab release, that would have implications for how we do viral research in laboratories all around the world, which could make doing research much harder. And so I think the inclination of virus researchers would be to presume that it came from an animal until proven otherwise, because that will have less ramifications for how we're able to do research in the future. The alternative obviously has some quite major implications for science and science on viruses, not just obviously political ramifications, which we're all well aware of.
Well, he later pointed to the coincidence that the most closely related known viruses to COVID-2 were being studied in a laboratory in Wuhan, the Chinese city where the pandemic erupted, and insisted that the possibility of a leak, however remote, should not be ignored in the search for its origins. The implications may not be good for scientists or global politics, he said, but just because the answers might cause problems, we can't run away from them, he added. There is currently no evidence of a leak, but enough circumstantial data at least to concern us. It remains a possibility until it is ruled out. Professor Petrovsky has gone further than any other expert in raising the idea that the virus escaped from one of two laboratories researching bat viruses in Wuhan. Yes, indeed, two. Now, whatever the truth of the matter, doubts over the virus's origins do not help the world to be assured that this could not happen again. Until it can be assured, the world is unlikely to be understanding of the source of the virus leading to the disease COVID-19. Again, time, for me at least, has come to an end for this program. This was COVID-19 Part 3, made in a laboratory or a freak of nature. How did the virus become so well adapted to human transmission? My name is James Cordwell, and God bless you mightily for watching.